You guys ready? Okay. Thank you all for being here. I want to thank Chairman Warner for making the trip out from Washington and Virginia to be here with me today. I'll talk about why I think that's so important, but I am extremely grateful to him for his willingness to take some time here in Colorado to see what I know about Colorado, what we all know about Colorado, which is it is the nexus of intelligence and space warfighting, and that's here in our state. It's here in El Paso County, but it's also we're traveling to Buckley Air Force Base after this, and meeting today with Space Command while we've got kinetic activity happening in Ukraine with the Russian invasion is a further reminder of how important this mission is, how critical this mission is to our national security, to our national defense. And it's the reason why I believe very, very strongly that Space Command should not be moved to Alabama. Space Command belongs in Colorado. We have the infrastructure here. We should be spending the money in space, not spending the money moving Space Command to someplace it doesn't need to be. And I was so pleased last year when Senator Warner and I joined to write a letter to the President saying that we believe that the intelligence equities that are here are best served by keeping Space Command here. So that wasn't the only reason that Chairman Warner was here today, but I think it was important for him to get a sense of what we're all doing here. So thank you for coming, and I'll get out of your way.
Thank you, Senator Bennet. Let me first of all, thank my good friend Senator Bennet for the invitation. I was one of the folks who encouraged him to join the Intelligence Committee, a committee I'm proud to say still functions on a broadly bipartisan basis. Shouldn't be that high a bar, but in where we work, that's a pretty good accomplishment. He is a great member, a meaningfully significant member on the Intelligence Committee, and where he's particularly dug in is on overhead. The whole question of space, satellites, critically important in terms of command and control, in terms of our military, but also extremely important in terms of our intelligence gathering capabilities. And I was aware, as Senator Bennet indicated, this kind of locus of capabilities here. But it's one thing to kind of intellectually know that. It's another thing, seeing is believing. And I come away with reaffirming the idea that Space Command should stay here in Colorado, doesn't need to move anywhere else. You've got not only the military side, but the intelligence community side. One of the things I've seen here is enormous integration between the intel capabilities and the DoD capabilities. One of the things I'm also a little bit jealous of is, as somebody who's spent time as a venture capitalist before I became governor or senator, is that Colorado has also become probably the leading hub in the country of commercial space. And one of the things we've pushed for a long time, Senator Bennet and I, is while we need to have extraordinarily exquisite capabilities in our intelligence gathering, a lot of that can also be done in conjunction in public-private ways. Much smaller satellites, commercial satellites, the need to have resilience, and again, that's an area that the geographic proximity of DoD, IC, and commercial space here makes this a win-win for our country, and obviously a win-win for Colorado. And Senator Bennett's been a constant advocate for that, against, frankly, sometimes, how do I say this, real time with cameras on, some of the other figures in the Senate who've been pretty good at appropriating, but Space Command needs to stay in Colorado. Final comment before we go to questions is that seeing the threats and the capabilities today reinforce the real-time activities that's happening halfway around the world. I mean, the world as we knew it, peace for 80 years in Europe was blown up 8 days ago by Vladimir Putin. We've seen a remarkable job done by the American intelligence community, including some of these assets here, to predict the extent of Putin's invasion, timing literally almost to the day. We've all been remarkably impressed by the courage of the Ukrainian people and the resilience of President Zelensky. The Russian activities, they're brutal. They still have enormous forces. To see the images last night of the casualness of the Russian attack that literally hit a Ukrainian nuclear facility. Thank God it only hit the administrative building. But we are in uncharted territory. And again, before I close the questions, it just we are only here where we are with, I think, the Russian military not doing as well as anticipated, partially because of the underestimation that Putin brought to the table. But if you'd asked me 10 or 11 days ago when I was in Munich, would we see the Ukrainians resist this well? Would we see the kind of complete unity of Europe leading the way on the sanctions, for example, on Nord Stream 2, leading the way on sanctioning Vladimir Putin, leading the way on kicking the Russian banks out of the SWIFT system? When you've got countries like Germany that are turned around, Sweden, Finland, the Swiss getting off the sidelines and weighing in. I think on this one, I've been critical of the administration other times around Afghanistan, but on this, the administration gets kudos from me in terms of working those alliances. That's helped the Ukrainians. I also think it's thrown Putin off, and God willing, we'll see the violence end shortly.
Senators, when it comes to Russian cyber attacks, what's being done here? And you touched on this a little bit. I kind of want to come back. What's being done here in Colorado to protect Americans and to protect the people of Ukraine?
Sure. I mean, it is the integration of the intelligence agencies sitting side by side on these floors with Space Force and with Space Command that's enabling us to be able to have exquisite intelligence that we're using to help our allies all over the world push back against this thug, Vladimir Putin.
What kind of practical things?
Well, let me try to hit that as well. One of the things that the folks here said, there's a lot of symmetry between what's happening in space and what's happening in cyber. They're both domains that 25 years ago we wouldn't have thought about in the military context, and a lot of that intel is both identified here and passed on to our defense and our allies. I've been, frankly, and I think there's been surprised that the Russian forces haven't brought their absolute top A-team fully into the cyber engagement. I'm surprised that the internet's still up, that the communication systems are still up. They have been targeting some of the power systems. I've been concerned for some time that a massive cyber attack with their full A-team you could not only shut down the systems in Ukraine, but because if you unleash some of these cyber tools that particularly have worm capability to go from one network to another, it could bleed into Poland and end up causing concern of hurting of NATO forces or Poles dying because the hospital shut down. Does that constitute Article 5? Open question. Here at home, what I think we are doing, and I think this is one of the things that Senator Bennet worked on as well, and we passed finally unanimously, is making sure that there is a required cyber notification to CISA, the cyber agency. If you're attacked, only about 30% of cyber attacks are actually reported at this point. Not, frankly, to have the government know, to let that information then get spread across the private sector. Because the truth is, we've got all of our cyber defenses kind of shields up at this point. But if we see the Russians use some of their better cyber assets, chances are they will break through. So our concern is not only about defense here in this country, but about long-term resilience and the ability to get our systems back up. And I feel good about that. I also feel good about the fact, although a little bit surprised, that they've not shut down more systems in Ukraine.
Senator Bennet, what did you find out as far as practical things that are happening here that Coloradans should know about that's happening
Well, I
right here in regards to the Ukrainian crisis.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, for obvious reasons, I can't go into detail about that, but
Even generally.
yeah, but generally, it is the ability to collect and report in real time intelligence in a way that it can be used by people that are confronting Vladimir Putin, and that's an important thing for us to be able to see and to do.
Senators, I appreciate you guys brought up Space Command, because I have questions about that. A lot is at stake for El Paso County, hundreds of millions of dollars in potential impact. Moving forward, it's been nearly a year since you guys wrote that letter to President Joe Biden. What have you guys been doing in the meantime to reverse course to make sure Space Command is here in Colorado?
Thanks. Maybe I'll take that one. The entire delegation has been working together to make sure that the Biden administration understands how important this is to Colorado. I flew back from Washington with President Biden on Air Force One when he came to visit the fire in the aftermath of the fires in Boulder County, and I spoke to him at length about the reasons why I thought it was important for Space Command to stay here. They have, and we've been keeping the pressure on, and Chairman Warner's position has been enormously important to making sure that the administration is paying attention to this. As you know, there are two studies that are being done, one by the GAO, one by the IG at the Air Force, and those, we're not going to hear anything before those reports come out, but they're going to come out soon. And then we're going to have to just continue to fight, continue to make the case that we're a lot better off, as I said, spending money in space than we are, and on the mission, than we are wasting it by moving this somewhere else.
Senators, on that note, I mean, do you feel there's a national security risk to moving this asset out of Colorado?
Let me put it to you this way. I do not believe that the decision to move Space Command to begin with had anything to do with our national security. I think it had to do with politics. And we should be thinking only about our national security when we make those kinds of decisions. And for the reasons that I said and Mark said, our national security is served by having it here. It would not be served by moving.
We have time for one more.
We were watching, there's been so much social media coverage of what's happening in Ukraine. The big story was about the attack on a nuclear facility. Is there anything that you guys can disclose with the American people about that report? Or?
Again, I think what you are seeing is we need to be really concerned. Putin underestimated the unity of the West. Putin underestimated the willingness of the Ukrainians to resist. And you saw in the first few days, I mean, he didn't even bring all his forces to bear. This was not the kind of shock and awe that I think we all expected. What you're seeing now is him throwing more forces in still logistical and strategic mistakes made by the Russians. We've all seen the images of that 40-kilometer convoy still sitting for days on end. But as we've seen in Russian practices earlier, and what they did in Syria, what they did in Georgia, Russians get stalled, they simply up the level of willingness to attack civilians, or in the case of completely irresponsibly having any kind of fire towards a nuclear power plant. That's insane. And you've seen, I think all of us have seen images of that. I'm not going to make any comments about the intel we have, but here's a guy for the last couple of years who's been basically isolated from his other leadership. He's only hearing from a couple of folks. Virtually nobody in the whole world has said a good thing about him except the former president of the United States in the last 7 or 8 days. And as somebody that's that isolated, those images of him sitting at one end of the table and his military advisors, economic advisors, he still has, on sheer numbers, the largest nuclear arsenal in the world. So we're in really, really dangerous time. It's one of the reasons why we both support getting more arms to the Ukrainians. We both absolutely support supporting NATO, and that Putin can't be successful. If he is successful here, it will only feed his appetite for further aggression. And Vladimir Putin in the last 8 days did something that very few people could do. He basically unified 95 plus members of the Senate to actually have that common agenda.
I would just add to this that I do believe that this is a global battle between totalitarianism and democracy. I believe that's what is at stake. Every single time China sits down at the negotiating table, the first thing they tell us is, you've lost, you've failed, democracy won't work, the United States is a failure. Now we see Putin doing this in Ukraine, and this is an assault on the Ukrainian people, the proud people of Ukraine, on Ukraine as a country, the right of self-determination. It's also an assault on democracy. That's what Putin is trying to attack now. And it is vital for us to be able to maintain, I would say the United States to lead the democracies around the world in pushing back effectively, and for what's going to be not just a short period of time. We're going to have to stick together. And I think we will, and that's an important part of this. And a second part, we have to pull together as a country. This is a real demonstration for why we can't be at each other's throats, for why in Washington we actually have to make decisions in a bipartisan way, for why we can't just have a political football going back and forth and back and forth. We have real challenges in this world that we need to address, including some here at home and abroad. This is a very good reminder of why one of the most important things we can do for democracy is find ways of working together here in the interests of our kids and our grandkids.
Let me just one quick last comment on this, because I think Michael touched on it really well. Last couple of years been really hard. We've had COVID, we had January 6th, we've had the partisan back and forth, and as Michael said, we see this from China. When we mention China, our beef is with the Communist Party of China. It's not with the Chinese people or the Chinese diaspora, but it's this whole question: can liberal democracy succeed with this kind of split in social media also? But the remarkable thing is that the people of Ukraine are literally voting with their lives to try to get what we all take for granted. If this was a kind of a choice of equal systems, they would say, okay, we'll go along. But they are literally voting with their lives to say, we embrace democracy, we embrace the values that the West represents, and we'll put our lives on the line for that. I think all of us as Americans ought to take a deep breath and maybe start recognizing a lot more we have in common on that than we.
That makes me think, Mark, these guys know this, but 100 miles that way or more is the site of Camp Amachi, which was a Japanese internment camp, an internment camp for Japanese American citizens 80 years ago. We just got it made part of the Park Service, but even while people were interred there were 800 people that went to fight the Nazis while their families were stuck there. So this tradition, lives on in us. It's a question about whether we're willing to step up, and I think we will, and I think we are, which is great. Thanks for coming, Mr. Chairman. See you, everybody. Thank you.
Appreciate it.